Good morning, student. So, for today's period of SST, we are going to continue with the next lesson, that is the plateau and desert regions. What is the name of the lesson? The plateau and desert regions. Okay, first one activity is given. Classify the following words under the three headings given in the table: mountains, plains, plateaus, desert, rivers. These are the headings, and the words are tallest, tributaries, delta, flat top, river origin, cold, hot, taller, sand, flat, short, cool, snow, dry, and fertile. And now we have to write these words in the correct column, that is like this. Understood? Yes. Now we are going to continue with the lesson. So the first part of the lesson is Southern Plateau, which we are going to see today. Yes. Before that, we'll see first what is meant by plateau. See here, a plateau is a high land which is higher than the land around it. A plateau is a high land which is higher than the land around it and has a flat table-like top. That is why it is also called tableland. Just like a round table or anything like that surface it is there, so that is why it is called tableland. Have you seen Mahabaleshwar, Pasgani? Yes. So in that Pasgani, this tableland is there. That tableland is also called a plateau. Now have you understood what is meant by plateau? Yes, and this plateau what is the exact location of this plateau? Now we are going to see. Location and extent. Extent means from where to where that plateau stretches, that we are going to see. The region extending from south of the northern plains to southern tip of the Indian mainland is a plateau region. See, south of the northern plains to southern tip of the Indian mainland is a plateau region. The plateau mainly covers peninsular India and it's triangular in shape, broad in the north and narrow down as it extends southwards. It is thus called the Peninsular Plateau. Why it is called the Peninsular Plateau? Because the plateau mainly covers peninsular India and is triangular in shape, broad in the north and narrowing down as it extends southwards. That is why it is called Peninsular Plateau. This region is bounded by hill ranges. This plateau region is bounded by hill ranges. They are Aravalli Range in the northwest, the Rajmahal Hills in the east, the Eastern Ghat to the east, and the Western Ghat to the west. So that is why this region surrounded by mountain ranges, or we can call it as hills. Understood? This plateau has a rocky and uneven surface. The Peninsular Plateau covers the state of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra and eastern part of Kerala. See, the Peninsular Plateau covers these many states. The main cities of this region are Bhopal, Indore, Hyderabad, Mysore and Bengaluru. These are the main cities which are in Peninsular Plateau. The river Narmada divides this plateau into two parts. So this is the plain part, isn't it? Just like a tableland. So this region or this part has divided by the river Narmada. So what are the two parts are that? The first one is Central Highlands in the north and the Deccan Plateau in the south. These are the two parts of this plateau made by river Narmada, because of river Narmada. The first one is the Central Highland and another is the Deccan Plateau. Now we'll first see the Central Highlands. What is the location? How it extends? See, the Malwa Plateau in central India. Just a minute. The Malwa Plateau in central India and the Chota Nagpur Plateau in the east together make the Central Highlands. See, the Malwa Plateau and the Chota Nagpur Plateau. These two plateaus together makes the Central Highlands. It is bordered by Aravallis in northwest, Vindhyas in the south, Chota Nagpur Plateau in the east, and Rajmahal Hills in the northeast. See, these many mountain ranges around it. The Malwa Plateau lies in the center. It is bordered by Aravallis in the northwest and Vindhyas Hills in the south. Rivers originating in the Central Highlands are Chambal, Betwa and Shon. They join Ganga and Yamuna flowing northwards. Narmada and Tapi originate in the Vindhyas and flow westwards. The Chota Nagpur Plateau covers the states of Jharkhand, northeastern Chhattisgarh and northern Odisha. The fine black soil in the Malwa Plateau region is suitable for the growth of cotton and oil seeds. See, it means this is the information of the rivers which covered by this Central Highlands, then the cities, mountain ranges and all. Understood? So this is the first part, the Central Highland. Now we'll go towards the Deccan Plateaus. Now see, the Deccan Plateau is the largest plateau in our country, that is in India. The Deccan Plateau is the largest plateau in India. It extends from river Narmada to the southern tip of peninsular India. It extends from river Narmada. It is bounded by the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats on the western and eastern coast respectively. Western Ghats include the Nilgiri Hills, the Annamalai Hills, the Cardamom Hills, and the hills of the Western Ghats are comparatively higher than that of the Eastern Ghat. Both the Ghats join each other at the Nilgiri Hills. See, it means the hills of the Western Ghats are comparatively higher than the Eastern Ghat. And the both Ghats joined each other at the Nilgiri Hills. Understood? So this is the location of the Deccan Plateau. Now we'll see the rivers from the Deccan Plateau. Why? Because the Deccan Plateau is the largest plateau in India. These rivers in this region are seasonal as they depend on rain for water. See, now rivers from the Deccan Plateau are the seasonals. Why? Because they depend on the rain for the water. Means if heavy rainfall is there, the rivers will be full of water, and sometimes the rainfall is not there, then there will be very short water for these rivers. See, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri are the main rivers originating in this region. What are the main rivers originating in this region? Means in Deccan Plateau. Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. These are the main rivers. These rivers rise in the west and flow eastwards where they eventually empty into the Bay of Bengal. So these are the main rivers. They rise in the west and flows eastwards where they eventually meet to the Bay of Bengal. Godavari is the longest river of the Deccan Plateau region. Narmada and Tapi are the only rivers that flow from east to west into the Arabian Sea. Now see, the Deccan Plateau region, which is the longest river? Godavari. And Narmada and Tapi are only rivers that flow from east to west and meets to the Arabian Sea. These rivers form several waterfalls in their course because of the uneven land. So Godavari, Narmada, Tapi, these rivers form several waterfalls in their course. Why? Because the land is very uneven. The Zog Falls on the river Sharavati in Karnataka is the highest waterfall in our country. Yes, the Zog Falls on the river Sharavati in Karnataka is the highest waterfall in our country. Large dams are constructed across the Deccan rivers to store water. The Nagarjuna Sagar Dam across the Krishna River is one such example. Yes, it means we can see the dams also over there on the rivers. Why the dams are there? Because to store the water in it. So the Nagarjuna Sagar Dam across the Krishna River is one such example. Now here is activity given. So just we have to put the tick mark if the sentence is correct and put the cross if it is wrong. First one is the Deccan Plateau extends till Kanyakumari. It is correct. Eastern Ghats are made of small hill ranges. It is also correct. The rivers in the southern plateau are non-perennial. Yes, it is also correct. The rivers in the southern plateau are fed by melting snows in the mountains. It is wrong. And last, the Deccan Plateau is located between the Western Ghat and the Eastern Ghats mountain. Yes, this one also correct. Now we are going to see the climate of this region. The Malwa Plateau region experiences a pleasant climate because of its elevation. Yes, children, the Malwa Plateau region experiences a pleasant climate because of its elevation. Elevation means it is very high from the sea level, above the sea level. And in other parts of the southern plateau, the summers are hot and dry and winters are cold. So this is the climate of this plateau region. Now we are going to see the soil and vegetation. The soil in this plateau region is black and red in color. See, it is black and red in color. Farming is the main occupation of people living here. Apart from cotton and oilseeds grown in the black soil, farmers also cultivate other crops like rice, millets, groundnut and sugarcane. Although we know that this land is very fertile for the cotton and oilseeds, but with this, the farmers also cultivate the other crops like rice, millets, groundnuts and sugarcane. The different kinds of wood from the thick forests of Western Ghats and northeastern region of the plateau is commercial importance. It means the different kinds of wood from the thick forest of Western Ghats and northeastern region of the plateau is commercial importance, which is used for the commercial. Now we are going to see the minerals from this region. The Chota Nagpur plateau is rich in minerals like coal, iron, manganese, bauxite and mica. The plateau region is the most mineral rich region in India. See, this is the very rich region in India for the minerals. We can find many minerals here like coal, iron, manganese, bauxite and mica. The Chota Nagpur plateau is rich for this type of minerals. Okay children, have you understood? So in this way, today we saw the southern plateau and in the next period we are going to continue with the desert region. Understood? Thank you.